Today we have a special guest here today, our father.
The old man.
The old man that's lived most of our boxing, well, all of our career with us. And we're here, we brought him today to touch upon a few things of boxing and how our training is going, how boxing has changed from him coming up to us. And yeah, I think he's been a good guest to bring on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Christian.
I wasn't talking to you.
Christian, aka El Nenuco.
Yeah.
Make sure you put down the video. If you had to describe us in one word, what would it be?
Each. Give him
So,
one word.
no,
and give
Chris
me another.
first. So would you describe him in one word?
Conceited.
What the hell is
I
that?
mean,
2 words. Big head.
okay.
Well, me?
Firecracker.
Firecracker, yes. If you had to choose one to babysit the other, who would it be?
Chris would babysit you.
It's always been like that.
Still is. It still is.
What's the most embarrassing thing Evan or Chris did in public? I know mine already.
I can tell you this one as well, but I'll let him do it. And like this, we've got 2 stories.
I
There's
really
many. We
Chris.
could be here for hours on end as well.
Chris was quite well behaved when he was a little boy. So I think the worst thing he'd ever done was to set off that fire extinguisher.
That was me, no?
Yeah.
No, but that's not embarrassing.
That's not bad.
That,
Basically,
that
what happened
was
was
embarrassing.
we were in our estate, and I was walking around with a security guard. He probably doesn't believe me to this day. And we were really friendly with a security guard. the guy that
Can
looked after
Abdul?
the estate. Mustafa.
Máquina.
Mustafa, nice guy. And he was checking. We used to follow them around, me and other friends, and then he would tag along and stuff. And he was checking through the garages if the fire extinguishers were working. So basically, you check like a seal that it's got or whatever, and then if the seal isn't on, you've got to replace it. I could have sworn that he said, "Try this one to see if it works." So I remember going,
Try this.
and it worked. Obviously, he's like, "Oh, okay, let's go to the other one." When we came back half an hour later, my dad got a knock on the door, saying that I had made a mess with the fire extinguisher. I didn't know that a little spray like that would cover about 15 cars in white powder. It was really, really bad. And then we were made to go and clean it and stuff. But I promise you that he said for me to do it. So I'm covered there. And if Mustafa's watching, I miss you, Mustafa.
Evan,
Most embarrassing
Yes,
thing
where
in
do we
public.
start?
the first time we went to Dubai, when they were very, very young, a long, long time ago. And it must have been, must have been like
2010.
3 or 4 years old.
No, a bit more. 8.
2010.
Yeah, 8 to 9 years
2011.
And obviously you have to take into account the context, Dubai, Muslim country.
A very long time ago.
A very long time. I hear it's much more relaxed nowadays. But in those days, I remember that Joe's daughter was told off for wearing a skirt a bit too short, and that's what it was like at the time. And practically one of my best friends, he was a bit of a rascal, really. And he'd make us all do very naughty things, especially my children, behind my back. So he basically asked Evan to show his bum to moon at someone. I can't remember exactly how it happened.
In the Dubai Mall.
But it got us into a lot of trouble, basically.
Nearly got arrested.
Yeah.
I was going to say that one. And then he set like a little chair on fire on the 24th of December in Christmas.
At home.
At home,
That belonged to our neighbor, Maricaro, from downstairs.
I'm telling you, this we could go on and on.
Oh, this is a good one, Dad. This is a really good one. When did you first realize boxing would be part of our lives?
From the moment you were born.
Yes. Serio?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I knew it from the beginning. Because my brother was 13 years older than me. I looked up to him in a very big way. He was, from when I was a little boy, my hero. I really looked up to him. When I was a little boy and he was a young man, he was a mechanic, and I thought he was the best mechanic in the world. I learned a lot about cars through him. Then, when I grew older, that 13-year gap started narrowing to the point that we started going out together and for drinks or at night, something that I dreamt of as a child, but could never do, obviously. And he was a boxer. He did 3 amateur fights. He won 2 by knockout. And by then I thought he would become world champion, and I was devastated, quite literally, when he lost his 3rd fight by knockout. And so not only boxing, but my brother was very present, still is very present in my life, in everything that I do. So when they were born, when he was born, it's a boy. You know, among the first things that I thought about was that he should start boxing when he was old enough.
Because Evan wasn't planned.
No, Evan was never planned. Evan was a bit of an accident. In fact, his mother and I had already planned that I should get a vasectomy. And I got it.
You joke, come on, man.
Yes, it's true.
Idiot.
I got it a bit too late.
When I make it, I remember.
Yeah. But
Okay, next question.
but yeah, when he was born, I also had the same thought about him becoming a boxer, and I think it must be said that I'm extremely proud of him.
Bien. The
I-
mistake.
So he doesn't make it.
The mistake. Yo, I don't care. Mira, next one.
That could be your ring walk.
The mistake.
Evan, the mistake.
No,
It could be. What were Evan and Kriss fighting for as kids?
everything. Quite literally.
The thing is, he was a big pain in the ass as well.
He wasn't.
When he was small, still is now, but now the roles have reversed. When we were small, he wanted to be with me 24/7 to the extent where when I got a girlfriend when I was 16, which is my wife and mother of my kids now, he went crazy. And he would never admit it, but he was
No, I
really,
admit it.
really, really jealous.
I admit it.
Like, I started going out when I got my car, I got my motorbike, and I would take her, and then he was like, "Ah, you never take me." I'd make him do these ridiculous things at home. So I would tell him, like, to put perfume in his mouth and stuff like that.
To take
And then I would take him in the car,
And talcum
and
powder.
talcum powder and stuff, and he would do it, and then I wouldn't take him anyway. And now, I want to spend more time with him, and he's like, nah.
That's how I felt with my brother, actually. I relate. I see what happens between them, and I relate it to what used to happen to me with my own brother.
The difference is that I beat him up in sparring, and he would never beat up his brother in sparring.
Also a lie. Completely.
I
I used to do quite well with him, closer to, when I, like the last 2 or 3 years before he fell ill, it got to a point where I was
Le daba caña.
I was doing quite well. Let's leave it at that.
I do more than quite well against him.
Change the subject.
It's unfair.
Vale, next one. How would you stop them from fighting?
No,
There was never really.
we've had a lot of fun together, and I've always been a very relaxed father. But then, when things got very serious,
When shit hit the fan,
all it took was one
Remote control.
one stare. I would just look at them straight in the eye, and that would be enough.
I remember once, the first time I'd ever I went out drinking, and it was New Year's. My birthday's on the 21st of November. So I think I was obviously 16 or 17 at the time, and it was the first time that I was allowed to go out with my friends because of the age requirements for the nightclubs here in Gibraltar. And I remember him telling me for like 3 or 4 days before Christmas, don't drink too much, don't drink too much. If you come home drunk, you're gonna get it, blah 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 blah.
I think you slept with me that night.
I was drinking, but like nothing crazy. Like, I don't know, I was in the nightclub, the music, standing up, in and out for air, talking. You don't feel it. When I got home, had a shower and lie down in the bed. I had like a bunk bed, but instead of being a bed at the bottom, I had like a sofa. So I'd go up and I was like this close to the ceiling. And I could see the ceiling, like I would close my eyes and everything was turning, and I would open up, and I remember going, like literally, holding a run from my bedroom to the toilet so that you wouldn't hear anything. I puked all over the place. My mum came in, and my mum was like, shh, because of your daddy, get the shit out of you. So it was all like very, very quiet, very quiet. We cleaned everything, went to bed, and I'm thinking, yes, no one found out.
See.
And the next morning he goes, don't talk to me for at least 24 hours. I was like, the 1st of January was like this, the whole day. I remember
New
that.
Year's era.
No.
Yo me acuerdo también. No me acuerdo de tú vomitando en el toilet. I remember. Was there a moment you were scared for their future? Ours.
Of course, many times.
Why?
Well, in Chris's case, my obviously
Very
everything in
different.
proportion and relatively speaking. Kriss went off to university, and my worries were divided between him having to live there on his own for the first time
Oh.
in Liverpool, which was supposed to be, then it turned out to be a fantastic place, recommended to anyone who's never been there. But at the beginning, our impression of Liverpool was based on what people had told us about it. Very rough, and a lot of crime, and a lot of thieves, completely untrue. And also, our worries were also based on him being able to get through that academically. So yeah, but we know about it now, but at the time, I took his education very, very seriously. I was obsessed with it.
Es verdad, es verdad.
And it used to worry me a lot that he'd fail, and especially when you used to send me your papers, and I realized that they were copy and paste.
Kriss.
And pasted.
With Evan, I didn't have that problem.
I was just about to say, and he'll deny it, he's been far more strict on me than he has on me.
No, de eso nada.
Bro, tú sabes que es verdad.
No,
100%.
if you're talking about school
Evan
and
has
stuff.
got away with murder.
Nah,
I had
no,
a
no.
curfew when I was 16, 17 years old.
So did I. Why not?
At 6
Everything-
o'clock in the morning.
Look, Dad.
My way of treating you too, and I think this goes for every parent, was tailor-made.
Yeah, 100%.
My-
So you were more strict on me
My,
than you
my
were on
way
him.
But it
of dealing
worked.
with Evan was different. In
Te
many
abuela
ways,
cuando te
it
hacía
was
así,
definitely different.
On Twitch, too,
Yeah, my worries regarding Evan were more based on him hanging out with the wrong crowd and lying to me all the time, although I used to know, but the fact that he was lying to me was worrying enough. And yeah, basically getting into trouble. And I mean, just off the top of my head, I used to get calls from a guy I knew quite well that ran a petrol station locally, and saying, "I'm sorry, I have to call you again, but Evan's just been here, refueled, and sped off." So I used to have to call. Well, I can't remember. No, he wouldn't have had a phone at the time.
Como no tenía moto.
When he came home, I used to send him to the petrol station to pay for the fuel. It was just £1 worth of fuel on a small motorbike. But that for me, it was very, very serious. And so yeah, he gave me quite a few
And
headaches.
he would
in
probably
that
leave
sense.
without paying because he knew.
He knew the guy.
He knew the guy.
He was
the
my
guy would then
football
come with that,
coach.
mira,
He was my football coach, the guy, Sergio.
Lovely guy.
Sergio
Lovely
Rivelli.
guy.
Máquina.
Loveliest guy.
He told me I could leave.
No, he didn't.
How do you think you could have dealt with those issues maybe in a different way? Would you have dealt with them the same way for both Kriss and Evan?
Yeah, well, I have, I mean, it's easy, cliche. I don't have any regrets, but yes, I would have dealt with things a lot more different. I find that now I realize that a very important part of education, parenting, is dealt with by talking. I was perhaps, I could have done things a bit more differently in that sense, to sit them down and talk to them. I didn't have the patience or
Old
the
school.
time.
I wouldn't change it, if I'm honest with you.
And when he said earlier, you know, when he came home drunk and all that, kicked the shit out of him, it never happened. I was never, you know, I gave them the odd slap across the head or.
Come on, show more or less the power,
Yeah.
more or less if only.
The odd slap, no?
Listen, no one's gonna call child line now.
Yeah.
Be honest. The amount of remote controls that my
Sí.
mom had to go and buy because you
That's
launched
not
them
true.
across the
That's
living
not
room.
true. That's not.
Como que it's not true? And the amount of slaps that I dodged,
You
and
got
if
more
I
than
would
him,
have
for
got
sure.
hit with that,
Yeah,
it
but
was
listen,
full swing.
I'm honest with you, and I'm sure that everyone that got raised in my generation, not so much his, because obviously I'm older, but 25 plus years back, I think parenting was, in my opinion, better than what it is now. Like, I've tried to keep everything the same way that I've been brought up. Like when
No, you-
we were both younger, we would barely see him because he was out working. I would never, not to this day or back then, say, oh, you're not going to tell me anything because I don't see you all day. Well, I don't see you all day because you're out working to put clothes on my back and food on the table and a roof over the head. I do the same. I leave in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, and obviously my wife comes to see me to the gym with the kids and stuff, but I get home at 8, 9 o'clock at night, and so does he. I wouldn't have it any other way. My wife doesn't work, we have 2 kids, and there's nothing ever which is missing. No food, to pay the bills, nothing. But
That was
I
delicious.
wouldn't change any other way. I had like a lot of respect, and you can say fear as well, but fear not of, oh, I'm gonna get smacked or whatever. Fear of
Respect.
failing, not like to not comply with the standards that was set to him. And then my mom was like the angel of the house because you could get away with murder, literally. I used to say, oh no, don't worry, just don't tell your dad. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And with my kids, it's the same. My wife is more lenient because she's there all day with them, and I'm the one who mostly tells off. It doesn't mean that she doesn't tell them off, but I think there has to be that level of respect between and the difference between mother
Discipline.
and father. Discipline.
But then,
they are
we
far
could do
better.
we could do not whatever we wanted with a man, but it was more like a fun relationship. And then the person who set down the rules was him, and I think that's fine.
all right, tell you one thing, eh?
They were far better parents than I was.
And
I can assure you, they spend more time with their children. That's one of my regrets. I could have spent more time with them, although the reason why I didn't spend more time with them was because I was busy working. I wasn't anywhere else. I was working, but I could have done better in that sense. And they do.
yeah, but
very
now
well
we
with their
spend a lot
children.
of time together.
Yeah, we're making
Don't
up.
say
Making
that
up
to
for
Evan
it.
now because the 3 hours a day that he works are gonna go down to 1.
Mega, next.
For Evan, your approach is different in this case. Like, you will not agree with what Kriss is saying. Like, your parenting and so on. I'd love to know your.
I try and use what they showed me a lot, but not exactly the same. And I know when he says I would change a lot of things, it's what I've changed from him.
You can also do better.
100%.
I asked him not to lose his patience with
That's
his
why-
children,
wait, before I
like
forget.
like I used to lose it with him.
Before I forget, now when you were saying about the wife and all that, I got home today, I was 20 minutes stressful 20 minutes at home, both kids on a rampage. And I thought to myself, my wife deserves a lot of credit. She spends the whole day with these two
Oh shit.
And you.
and me.
And same with my way.
And I was only 20 minutes there and I wanted to jump off the 16th floor. So a lot of credit to the wives. Vale, next question. What was your proudest moment as a father?
There I was born, 21st of November 1994.
My proudest moment as a father. Well, I've had many, but the ones that I can remember the most are quite recent, actually, and
I agree.
probably to do with boxing.
Or the day we became fathers.
As well.
Of course, yes. And the day you got married, and your choosing your choice of girlfriends, of women.
Woman.
Women.
Woman.
Well, women.
See,
Yeah, women.
Yeah, no. Just making sure.
And I don't know about their choice, but
Yeah.
yeah. That I am extremely proud of them.
What values did you try to teach them? Oof, no way.
I see that principles and values
At
for
least-
me have always been very important. I've always been one to open doors for women. I've also, with age, become maybe a contradiction, but I've also, with age, become somewhat of a feminist. So I ask them to value what their wives do as much as they can. I honestly believe that women are, they work far harder than. For me, the easiest thing to do was to just leave home and go to work. So what their mother did for them, bringing them up and all the rest, was the difficult thing. And that's why I want them to understand that what their wives do is far more difficult.
100%.
So, and values, just be respectful, always put the other guy's shoes on before casting an opinion, because everyone, you think you're right, and if you understand that the other guy or the other person also thinks they're right, if you understand that, even if you think they're wrong, if you understand that they think they're right, then the argument can, and I've always tried to teach them that in terms of values, and just be gentlemen and be well educated and respect others, respect your elders, that sort of thing.
The truth. Tell the truth, even when you lie.
Hey?
That's a Scarface one. I tell the truth even when I lie.
These principles you learned, they came from your older brother?
Yeah, no, my father.
Your father?
Peps.
My father and my mom, to a certain point. My father was a very good man. He lived 97 years, and he was very good to me, especially towards the end. And I was very good to him.
Yeah.
And but obviously, so were my two sisters and my late brother. But my father, although he was very, old school in terms of how what he thought about women, and men are up here, women, chauvinist, a bit chauvinist.
Different era.
Yeah, different
It was
era.
really normal back
Yeah.
then to think
So
like that.
I tried to take
Well,
his
yeah,
principles on board, but also to refine them at the same time, taking into account what I've just explained about women and all that. So yeah, I got them from my father.
Two questions. What advice would you give young fathers, like me, for example?
The advice
I'm
I
young,
give-
bro.
They give you the same advice all the time. Be patient with your children. Talk to them as much as you can. Talking is the biggest tool.
Remember that they're
parenting,
only going to be 3, 4, 5 years
Once.
old once.
once they grow up very quickly, before you know it, they'll be telling you you're wrong,
Already is.
like you tell me all the time, although you are wrong. But yeah, just my advice is that talk to them.
Good advice.
Talk to them is the biggest parenting tool.
I agree. What advice would you give young men lost today? Como los niños que están perdidos.
It's a tough one.
Go to the boxing gym.
Well,
Or find a sport.
That's
Anything.
someone that's into drugs, someone that I think everyone that's into drugs and loses their way know it. They know it, but they couldn't care less, so they just carry on. So my advice to them is find someone that's been where you are now and that can advise you and show you a different
possible.
way. That's how it should start. Because otherwise, if you tell them to quit, obviously the easiest advice that you can think of for someone like that is don't do drugs. You know, quit the life of crime, but that's not going to work. You need to let someone that knows how to advise them do that. So my advice is find someone that used to be where you are now. I know people who have been through it, and they tell me without their sponsor, they call them sponsors, without their sponsor, you can't complete that journey of getting cleaned up. Impossible.
I think a routine is very important for anyone in life. Whether you have problems with drugs, alcohol, anxiety, depression, whatever, the most important thing anyone needs is a routine. 100%. Waking up at a certain time, going to the gym at a certain time, have things that you need to do at certain times and get them done. If you have no purpose to do anything during the day, it's good for 1 day, 2 days, maybe a week. After that, you don't know, you just have nothing to do all day. A routine is very important, even if it's waking up in the morning.
And talk. Don't keep it in you.
And the
Men
first
have
thing
to
you do
talk.
when you wake up,
Brush your teeth.
Even if you're bursting to go to the toilet, the first thing you need to do when you wake up is make your bed.
Yeah, I'm sure you do it.
I'm serious.
You do it as soon as you.
Not anymore. I'm usually not. I sometimes help Charlotte do it, but I leave home usually before she does.
Happy Charlie.
But tú no has hecho la cama
En tu vida.
No, hang on a minute.
No,
Hang
you
on a minute.
haven't.
I've never had to make
Let me
my
tell you
own
something.
bed until I lost your mother.
Yeah, then you made it
When
for
I
about...
lost your mother, I made it my life mission to make the bed every morning after waking up before even going to the toilet.
Even if you were bursting.
Before she left, she used to make it. And now, Charlotte usually makes it because she leaves after me, or because we live together and we sometimes make it together. And yes, sometimes we make it together. But if you're on when the time that I was living on my own after your mother passed away, I for some reason I drilled it into my brain that's the first thing. If you can't make your bed after waking up in the morning when you're going through a dark time in your life, you will probably find it very difficult to crawl out of the hole. So the first thing you need to do after waking up in the morning is make your bed and do it nicely. Make sure there's no wrinkles. And then you can deal or try to deal with everything else.
So now you know, boys, if you're having a bad day, wake up in the morning and make your bed.
Make sure there are no wrinkles.
No wrinkles. And it will help.
I think it's been lost because you have had other men come up with really shitty excuses. I think men aren't men anymore because men have decided not to be men anymore.
If you're lost, then you get all those thoughts in your mind.
See, but like you have too many.
No, I get him
branches
because-
now of one thing. Like before, I'm going back maybe to the 60s, 70s, or whatever. Before, a man was a man. A man woke up, went to work, did this, and then came home, provided for the family, make sure that everyone was safe. Now you have families where someone comes to rob the door and the man pushes a woman in front. You know what I mean? It's like, or who's gonna? For me, it's very, very important. Forget that I've been boxing since I was 6 years old. I think it's very important for a man to be able to defend his family.
Of course.
If you're walking down a street in a different country and someone comes to rob you and you have no idea what are you gonna get up and run and leave your wife and kids? You have to be the first one to act, and if someone's gonna go down, it's gonna be you before your wife and kids. So I think that's slowly been lost, and it doesn't only come to men training to know how to fight or know how to defend themselves. It's just like, I think it's common sense. It should be common sense. The first person, someone comes to your house and you're with your mother alone to rob, you're gonna stand in front, no? Nowadays, you have husband, wife, kid, and someone comes to rob and the person to open the house turns around and starts running.
I tell you what I'll do. Someone comes to rob my house. Take whatever you want
And give it
and
up.
leave. I'm not fighting. If someone's coming to rob
If you
my
have
house,
to defend, if you have to defend,
If you don't have a choice, you
you have a
to.
choice.
Yeah.
See, but I
but not
disagree.
in a house robbery.
I disagree in
street,
the
it's
sense
different.
that I don't think much has changed in terms of what men are like today, or what people generally are like today. What's changed is our exposure to information. Paradoxically, social media has a lot to do with it. Now we find out more through the internet about what's been going on out there for forever, but we just know more about it. People say, like a good example is, people say nowadays there are more, for instance, gay people. I don't think there are more gay people. There's always been the same amount, percentage-wise, of gay people. What has changed is their ability to be completely free to say they are gay. Whilst in the old days, they wouldn't. They would be born and live 70, 80, 90 years and die keeping that as a secret. So
Like Chris.
no, but
Just joking, guys.
I
He's
think
the type of guy that when someone comes to rob their house,
social media has had a lot to do with. You know
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
You have more information. Sometimes too much information.
I agree.
and a lot of snowflakes that get offended with a sneeze. Everything. You can't say something nowadays without offending anyone. Someone in the room will get offended. I think it's shit.
That I tend to agree with you.
It's always something you have to say something. No one can have an opinion anymore without someone being offended. With just general opinions, there's always someone in the room that has something to say about them being offended because what you've said is offensive, and I think it's sometimes it's too much. The reason why people get offended is ridiculous.
Well, boxing in Gibraltar was stagnant for quite a long time. Worldwide as well. But here in Gibraltar, because of certain issues, there was no boxing for quite a long time. So there was a gap there that was wasted. Before then, my brother's time, and slightly before my brother's time, there were a group of very, very good boxers. There was a lot of boxing going on. They all came from one club. There was only one club. Among them, if I can mention a few names, my favorite, Morris Gaiviso, the late Gonzalo Aguilera, Ronnie Ignacio, I can remember Brian Sherry. Boxing was very big at that time. So
Stagnant, and then we came along.
and then
Pretty much.
yeah. I think modesty apart, my boys are responsible. I say it just like that for waking up boxing, rekindling boxing in Gibraltar again, as from I'd say
5 years ago.
2000.
5 to 6 years ago.
A
Que
bit
cuando
more,
empecé yo con
even
el
a bit
club.
more. Sí, yeah, okay,
Empezamos los dos a pelear otra vez y todo.
yeah.
Conceited, but true.
Yeah, it's not boxing anymore. It's not boxing. The Logan brothers, it's a joke. It's not boxing. And unfortunately, money talks, bullshit walks. I can't really criticize them for what they do. I'm talking about the real boxers when they fight these people because they're making a lot of money out of it. If they were presented with the opportunity, I would tell them to jump at it because they would probably make a lot of money out of it. But it's not boxing anymore. No. Like when Tyson,
It was bad to watch, eh?
all-time
It was
favorites,
bad to watch.
you know, got degraded to the point that he nearly stepping into the ring with that guy, and then losing to him. It's not boxing anymore. Very disappointing.
It has
Yes,
had for
absolutely,
decades.
absolutely. Boxing right at the top has always enjoyed a terrible reputation. In the old days, its ill reputation was to do with its links to mafia and rigging, but it was still real boxing. You know, people were still getting properly knocked out and injuries, and it was real boxing. Although, as I said, the mafia was around it and so on and so forth, but it was real
Still
boxing.
is.
We're talking about the time. Yeah,
And
but,
it is.
now it's just become a bit of a joke. But we're talking about the time of
Don King.
Don King and very corrupt promoters, and we're talking about the Tyson, and before Tyson, Ali, and all those people. Those were although very little rigging at the top, but the mafia was illegal bets and that sort of thing. But now it's just not boxing anymore, apart from a lot of the fights that we like watching, and a lot of the boxers that we follow, like the Mexican boxers and some American boxers, even English boxers. We were talking about the other day about no, not Carl Froch, Calzaghe.
Joe Calzaghe.
Calzaghe. I mean, we used to see Roy Jones Jr. as being number one ever. The way he used to move in the ring, the way
Left
he used
hooks.
to punch, the left hooks were invisible. It was like lightning. Yet
Calzaghe
Joe
demolished.
Calzaghe comes along, this Welsh guy, and beats him. And beats him. He
Beats
wasn't
him.
lucky. He beats
him
him
up.
really well.
Every round. And his
That
father was his trainer,
His father was his
Enzo
trainer.
Calzaghe.
He-
He passed away a couple of years ago.
Italian origins, but living in, born in Wales and proper Welsh. And but yeah. My favorite, if you talk about success, and records, there's a guy that you guys should check out called Harry Greb. I mean,
100 and something
seriously,
before he lost,
incredible,
no?
incredible. An incredible, I think, a world record-breaking record, tail of the tape. Harry Greb, you have to remember that name and check him out. And as far as impressive is concerned, you have the typical names: Ali, Joe Frazier, Sugar Ray Leonard, and all these people, Tyson. But my favorites were the small, skinny Mexicans. or South Americans generally. There's where you saw real boxing.
Oscar de la Hoya style, no?
Oscar de la Hoya. My favorite was Felix Trinidad, Marco Antonio Barrera. Them two fought 3 times,
Peleón.
and yeah, incredible battles. Incredible battles. Canelo
¿Cuál era
Alvarez,
Eric?
Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley.
Eric Morales con Marco Antonio Barrera.
I meant Eric Morales, Marco Antonio Barrera.
I
They
think
fought
there's
3 times.
3.
Felix Trinidad was one of my favorites as well.
There's 2 or 3 trilogies. By trilogies, I mean where 2 fighters have boxed 3 times. That if you enjoy boxing or follow the sport, you must watch. The first one and all-time favorite for me was Eric Morales and
Marco Antonio Barrera.
War, and they were from
Incredible.
2 different places in Mexico, which were against each other. You know, heavy,
Incredible.
heavy. That was the first one. The other one is Irish Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti. Again, both of them.
Reventado.
2 standing dead men going toe to toe for 12 rounds, non-stop. And the third one, which didn't get 3, I'm not sure. I don't think he got 3. Is Eubank Ben.
No, it was 2, I think.
It was 2, no? Eubank Ben, the 2 fights again, a war.
261 wins.
Those are fights that you must watch.
No, Harry Greb's record, 261 wins, 49 KOs, 17 losses, and 19 draws. 299 plus bouts.
Over 300 fights of Israeli origins. Harry Greb. Check him out.
Crazy, that.
Incredible.
Wow.
Makes Floyd Mayweather, whom, for the record, I hate, look like
Floyd Mayweather.
like a-
Boy
like a-
Scout.
He's an idiot. He really is.
That's something that I tell them all the time, constantly, to the point that they get upset with me. Be humble all the time in your life, but especially in the ring. People need to be sad the day you lose, not happy. I was happy the day that well, he never lost, but whenever he got punched, I was happy. And Nassim Hamed was also, in that sense,
Very.
very cocky. I mean, worked for him. A lot of
Well,
people liked
until it
him.
didn't.
Until Marco Antonio Barrera came along
And battered him.
completely owned him.
And he retired.
Completely humiliated him.
Retired after that
And
fight.
people were happy about that. And I tell them all the time, the day, if you ever lose, which you're not, you people need to be sad, not happy. And the only way that you can achieve that is by being generally nice in the ring, even with your opponent. There's nothing more beautiful in a boxing bout or MMA or UFC when a guy gets knocked out and the other boxer runs to him to make sure he's okay. There's nothing better than that, more human than that. And that's what proves, only that can prove that it's a sport. And it dispels other people's
Opinions.
intentions to make it out to be a violent sport. It's not a violent sport. It's a sport that carries violence with it, but it's not violent in itself. And the only way that we can achieve people realizing this is if you are human in the ring as well. So you can fight tooth and nail to win. But your opponent is just a sports opponent and not your enemy. So there's nothing nicer than you walking up to the guy to make sure he's okay after the fight. Humility, 100%, all the way.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be boxing if not. We wouldn't be allowed to
Occasionally,
boxing, no.
occasionally they slip.
No. With
Occasionally,
disrespect,
Disrespect,
to
no.
opponents,
To opponents, no.
the guy you knocked out in your debut,
Yeah, he went like this in his
you
face.
went like this.
Yeah, but
and you-
espérate.
I know.
It came out and
It came out. What I don't
and,
like.
and then I went and I gave him a hug and I lifted it.
And the
Back to
typical,
hungry.
and the typical thing that boxers do like this, and then hit with this hand.
That's a fake, though.
Later, no, it's not. No. It's
Okay,
trying,
no.
It's trying to humiliate.
No, I use it as a
trying
fake.
to-
I do this loads. Boom.
No, I don't mean that.
What do you mean
I
then?
don't mean that. When you go like this,
We've never done that.
Because I've stopped you from doing it.
Well, I wouldn't do it anyway. I wouldn't do that.
I don't like it. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you very much for watching once again. An episode with the full Monty and the person that made us.
Quite
No, my
naturally.
wife, no.
I love you,
No,
babe.
look, I promise I haven't got a knife to my back, but look, I've left my wife at home with the 2 kids looking after her. Thank you very much for supporting me. I'll get you a good present when I start making money after these boxing matches. For now, you're going to have to stick to Valentine's Day cards and kisses.
Amazing, it's perfect.